So I nailed it. 12 midnight means it is Easter Sunday officially, April 17th, 2022. And welcome. This is a brand new episode of Dylan Knows on Easter Sunday, early Easter Sunday. I mean, it just literally became Easter Sunday. See, 12 a.m. So, my wife is upstairs actually right now playing Easter Bunny. So we're getting the kids' Easter baskets ready. That's my wife's. I'll do hers after she goes to bed. But she's doing mine upstairs right now. So, yeah, we do Easter baskets. We'll be going to my in-laws later today. About 12 hours from now, we'll be leaving to go to my in-laws' house. And we have an egg hunt outside and a Easter baskets in the house and nice dinner. And the kids and my wife have one more day off. They have off on Monday. I have to go back to work on Monday. So that's okay. But we're not here to talk about that. Well, we are kind of, because that's the first thing on my list is that it's Easter Sunday. It was Holy Week. A fairly warm week this week. We had some high temperatures. I think we got up to the 80s a few times. Close to 90 once or twice. And then today we had some hail and sleet and temperatures dropping down to about to a freeze warning. Apparently, according to my computer right here, we have a freeze warning overnight. So, hey, yay. Let's see, what does it say? If it has a freeze warning, what does that mean? What the temperature is going to be? Temperature right now is 54 degrees. Yeah, I mean, I don't really see freezing warning because it's going to be 46 at 4 a.m., 43 at 6 a.m., and then it's going to go back up. So it's going to be about 54 degrees tomorrow, 50 on Monday, 52 on Tuesday, 61 Wednesday, 70 Thursday, 75 Friday, 77 Saturday, 84 on Sunday, 81 Monday, 70 on Tuesday. Next weekend, my family is away for their regular camping, their monthly camping trip with the Scouts. My daughter's doing leadership training, and my son is doing camporee, and my wife is going to be a camporee, I believe. So, so that's what that works on that. So that's good. So we've had some big stuff happen this week. We had some major Percy Jackson news. We had WB Discovery making a statement, which makes me very happy. We also have Glitter Egg Butts. We have the cast for the Wonder Twins. We have, I forgot to put the D next to this. Had a couple of, the only two deaths I really see on here were pretty big ones. You would probably know who the people are. Mac and Cheese Gummies. Ew. Pamela Anderson doing a role you were not expecting. Jessica Alba. I can make sure. Yeah, Jessica Alba's in the news. She hasn't been in the news for a while. Sorry, just fixing stuff. Ego has some new stuff out this week. Got a couple of new things out. Peter Jackson has something good. Dr. Pepper has a flavor I never heard of before, but apparently has been out before. I haven't seen it yet. Some local news, some returns, a song that has been on the UK singles charts for 309 weeks, which is a really long time since there's only 52 weeks in a year. So we'll cover that. Sequels, TV series announcements, a lot of trailers. So got some interesting stuff going on here. So we're going to roll through here, roll with my homies. Okay, first up, to me, I think the biggest news of this week was there is I think we talked about as well, but Disney Plus is doing a Percy Jackson TV series. Rick Riordan, the author, and his wife are like all over it. They're executive producing it. They're producing it. They've got their hands on everything. They're writing screenplays. They've got final say on a lot of stuff. So they're really going to make sure that this is, given its proper, business. And this week, I guess, was like their Percy Jackson week. They were doing like memes and quotes and stuff like that. So they figured that they would announce some big news. They have indeed cast their Percy Jackson, and it actually might be somebody you've heard of. Walker Scobell, who played young, oh God, Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds, thank you. Played young Ryan Reynolds in The Adam Project for Netflix, just came out. Is going to be playing Percy Jackson. It's pretty good casting, I think. He's the right age. He's got some experience, and he was cast back in January, but they've been trying to have him get a chemistry with his two, for the actors and actresses who are auditioning for the other two big roles in the show with him. So he's been working on that, but they decided they needed to announce it, and that the other casting will be announced very soon, because they're supposed to start on June 1st, which is not really that far away if you think about it. I mean, April 17th, May 17th, and then it's June 1st. So, I mean, it's not like that far away. So they need to get working on that. So we'll probably be hearing more about that. But Walker Scobell is of the Adam Project, is your Percy Jackson, and I think he's a good pick. And then Ryan Reynolds had the best quote. He's like, "That means I'm grown up Percy Jackson." So that's kind of funny. The WB was sold to, of all people, we talked about this on my show a while back when it happened. Discovery Channel bought the Warner Brothers WB. I guess all of Warner Brothers. I guess I'm not exactly sure how that worked out, or maybe it's just the movie and television. I don't know, but Discovery owns them now, and they announced this week that they are contemplating redoing the DC Comics entertainment stuff, meaning the movies and the TV series, to get like their own sort of Kevin Feige and get a more cohesive universe, and not this shitty, awful, terrible, miserable, god-awful, creative mind fuck shithole, black and white bullshit piece of crap, dumbass shithole of a Snyderverse. They're going to try to get rid of that and try to get things back to normal. They believe Superman has not been treated well lately. Thank you very much, WB Discovery. So fuck you guys, you Snyderverse ass wipes. You fucking lost. So get over it and move on, you shitholes. So hopefully, something like that will happen. It'll become a little bit more like Marvel. That'll be good. Just need to get rid of Ezra Miller now, and the guy who plays Cyborg and all his bullshit. And you can get rid of Affleck as Batman, and you can keep Henry Cavill as Superman, keep Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. You can keep the dude who plays Aquaman. Play the dude who's playing Shazam, play Shazam, and The Rock is Black Adam. You can do all that stuff, and then you can keep all the characters that are coming in like that, through the different movies coming out here soon, to keep it a bit more cohesive, but just sort of restart it. Do like a Crisis on Infinite Earths, destroy that fucking Snyderverse, and get Cavill and Gal Gadot out of there, along with some of the other people who are in that universe, and fly them to a true, real universe where they'll be respected and treated properly. Hire good people to do it, and stop doing Batman movies, and stop making the heroes like Batman, make them like they're supposed to be. And don't be afraid to take chances. Kevin Feige did, and you see what happened with that. So get some of these other characters that you don't see very often do stuff. So that's a good sign, and hopefully that'll be a way to get the DC put on the straight and narrow. Now, you don't necessarily had to have done that to try to compete with Marvel, but just do your own things. But you need to pick the right people, and they sure haven't picked the right people lately. I mean, the Aquaman movies, I think, have been done pretty good. The Wonder Woman movie has been pretty good. They cast the Superman one, but the directors have been absolutely shit. They cast an awful Batman, and he's directing has been shit. So just move on from that, and let's do something different here. You don't necessarily have to dip into the WB stuff. I mean, if you want to create a new Flash or whatever, that's fine. You've got the Green Lantern show coming up. That could be like the cornerstone piece of this new universe, and don't tie it into the other stuff. And then hell, you can even bring Harley over if you want to, and the Birds of Prey. You get them over there, and somehow have a Crisis, but destroy everything else and just bring over the pieces that work and have them restart over again, or recast. Either way, I don't care. So just do it better than the Snyderverse bullshit, because that stuff is old and it's crappy and it's shitty and it's run by shitty people and followed and fan favorited by shitty people. So moving on. Also this week we had the new trailer for Stranger Things season 4, a little bit more deeper dive into it. It looks very vicious. We get a look at the new villain, who is actually a D&D villain named Vikara. And he's like a skeleton-y, mummy sort of zombie creature thing. And we get, a little bit of takes on all the characters, and we see some new monsters and some team-ups you're not expecting and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how this all gets cohesive. They're coming out in about end of May, so about a month and a half or so. Coming there soon. Kingdom Hearts, which is a video game series that Disney's been working on for a long time, celebrating their 20th anniversary. They announced that Kingdom Hearts 4 video game is on its way. So we'll be getting it's been a while since they've had a new Kingdom Hearts game, so this is a big announcement, and it's just in time for the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. So you'll be able to see some more of that Kingdom Hearts stuff, so that's good. They announced no season 2 for Hawkeye and Moon Knight. Hawkeye is being put to the Emmys as a limited series, to be voted on as limited series for Golden Globes also, and not for regular series. Same with Moon Knight. And, we also know that Oscar Isaac's only signed on for the one season, though he's doing an outstanding job in it, and I wish he would continue to play the character. And he still might. Same with, Hawkeye. They might not have their own shows, and plus you've got Kate Bishop. They might do a show called Kate Bishop, that would bring Hawkeye in. It's just saying that Hawkeye season 2, as we know it, is not going to happen, but you can still, this is not the end of the Hawkeye stories at all, particularly Kate Bishop's story. It's just that, it won't be known as Hawkeye. And that's the same sort of thing as like the Kevin Feige is like, there's no Avengers 5. Well, sure, but you can always make a new Avengers or the Ultimates or whatever and do a team up book or team up movie and like that as well. You don't need to call it the Avengers. So there's still ways around it. And there's probably what he's saying also, just not going to be any Avengers 5 or Hawkeye season 2 or Moon Knight season 2, but that doesn't mean they're not going to appear in other stuff as well. Hell, you could call it Fist of Honshu if you want to, instead of Moon Knight if you want to do a second season of it. So, or another limited series. So we'll see what happens with that. It's kind of disappointing because I thought both of them deserved at least another shot, but I guess Marvel wants to expand their universe a little bit more. So they're going to do a whole bunch of different TV shows, and they don't have money for everything. So, I mean, as I announced last week, they're not doing a WandaVision one, but they was announcing that Scarlet should be getting her own movie. So that's the kind of thing that we'll be looking at. I mean, Kate Bishop could show up in a Young Avengers movie, and Moon Knight could show up in a, the supernatural group that's out there, with Blade and all that stuff. And he could make an appearance in the Blade or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be, the main character in a show. He just still hang around in there. And, they're doing a Daredevil, season 4 and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of Moon Knight episode 3 continues the excellence of the series. We're at the halfway point right now, and they did exactly what they're supposed to do. They did a status quo change of the series, and now we've got 3 episodes to figure out how it's all going to get wrapped up. Ethan Hawke's Arthur Harrow villain is outstanding. Ethan Hawke is doing an amazing job as this villain who doesn't believe he's a villain, much like all the other Marvel villains don't, but this is actually just really excellent seeing him do this. Oscar Isaac deserves all the awards for playing 3 different personalities. We know of the 2, Mark Spector and Stephen Grant, but a third one was introduced in this episode that we don't get the name, but for comics fans know it's probably Jake Lockley, because he's the only other famous identity that Moon Knight has. So we kind of got introduced to him during a fight scene because Mark was yelling at Steven for killing people. And Steven's like, I didn't do it. Right? I thought you did. He's like, no, I didn't do it. So there's a third personality, and we believe it's Jake Lockley. And we'll probably find out for sure later on. Honshu really steps up in this episode. We get a better view of him and what he's been up to and what he can actually do. We get a better dive into Steven and what he can do. And we have Layla a little bit more playing and get a little bit more deeper into her character as well. And a little bit more Mark as well. So we've got a good thing going on here, and it takes place entirely in Egypt. And we also learn about the other Egyptian gods and their avatars, which are really, really cool, and a cool scene about that. So, kind of neat. So it's all coming together. It looks really, really good, and can't wait till Wednesday to see what happens. So keep watching if you haven't checked it out. Brie Larson, who is unfairly hated for whatever reason. I still don't understand why people hate her so much. They just fuck off because she's brilliant. She has joined the Fast and the Furious franchise for their new movies coming out. So that's a big deal for her. A Florida man sets a new world record, I guess, by seeing Spider-Man No Way Home 292 times in the movie theater. That's cool, I guess. I mean, if you have the time to do it, I mean, it's a good movie and it's great, but to see it 292 times a little bit too much for me, particularly in COVID times, and going to the movies 292 times means that you really don't have any other life. It's like you sit through. They only do like 5 or 6 shows a day, so basically you would have to sit through a whole day of showings for, I don't know, like a whole year almost. It seems like. I mean, is it even possible to see it 292 times? No, I guess it would be, 292. No, it wouldn't be 292 because it came out December 18th and he broke the record as April 1st. It hasn't been 292 days. We're only on day 107 right now of our year. So if he saw, I guess that makes sense. So if he saw 5 shows in 107 days, that's over 500 times. So yeah, that makes sense. So actually, now I think about it more and more, and we're going back to December 18th. So you add 18, 12, 13 more days to 107. You're looking at about 120 days. 120 days. So about 120 days, he saw 292 times. So roughly that would be about averaging about 3 times a day. And that's probably not what happened. He probably did spend a whole day, like 5 or 6 showings of it at one time. So he probably cut that down. So, okay, now I'm doing the math in my head, it does actually make a little bit more sense. But it's just, I don't think I could even watch any movie 292 times in a movie theater. At home, obviously, I can easily. But in the movie theater, no, I really can't do it. Unless you work at the movie theater. That's the only other thing I can think of. If you work in the movie theater, that's a different story. I mean, it's not as impressive if you work in the movie theater because that's your job. So, whatever. But, whatever. It came out on DVD. It came out on Blu-ray this week, so now you can watch it from the comfort of his home now. It doesn't have to go to movie theaters anymore. I think the most movies I've seen multiple times in a movie theater is 4. I think that's the most times I've seen a movie in a movie theater, 4 times. And those are like the 90s and 80s stuff, Jurassic Park and Independence Day and Back to the Future and Ghostbusters and stuff like that. 4 is not, it's kind of unique for me. I don't do it all that often. I saw Batman like twice. I saw episode 1 twice in movie theaters. And a lot of it is I see it by myself and then I see it with family. And I do that a lot with, we're doing now too. Like with Doctor Strange coming out May 6th. I'm taking May 6th off and I see it by myself. And then we get tickets for my family, see it May 7th. So I'll see that 2 days. I did see Spider-Man No Way Home twice. I saw it once by myself and then with my family. So, but that's probably the most that I would do it at is 2 days. Though I have 2 times in the movie theater. I have done 4 times before. Now with Jurassic Park and Independence Day, there were some stipulations with at least one of them. with one of the four showings I saw of it. One I saw by myself, one I might have saw with family. Third one, I don't know, maybe I saw it with friends or I saw it by myself again, I don't know. But there was one last one, both in 93 and in 96, where Independence Day and Jurassic Park, it was a way to have, I guess it's Universal, I guess. They were the only ones that really did that, would be able to have people come see a movie that they want to do really well, but are afraid that it's going to get lost in the whole Jurassic Park, Independence Day sort of stuff. So what they do is they do a double feature. So a good example is one of my favorite romantic comedies is Heart and Souls with Robert Downey Jr. And I saw it for the first time as a double feature with Jurassic Park because it came out in 93. So they would show Heart and Souls, and then you made it through. It's like, okay, you made it through. Now you can come see Jurassic Park now. Stay for Jurassic Park. It's one ticket. Just hang out in here, and you'll be able to see Jurassic Park. You paid for one ticket. You saw two movies. So there you go. They don't do that really anymore. And then Independence Day, I think there was the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta. And that's funny, actually. Keira Sedgwick was in that, and Keira Sedgwick was in Heart and Souls. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, they showed Phenomenon, and then they said, okay, here's Independence Day. So another two-movie sort of thing. So yeah, but 292 days, that's a little bit much for me. This upcoming week, we have Stoner Holiday 420 and Insomnia Cookies, which I guess is I guess there's one. I think it's one in Annapolis actually. Is a franchise out there. They are making cookies. I'm sorry, cookie nachos for 420 with potato chips, pretzels, and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a cookie nachos, but not like your typical nachos. It's not going to be covered in cheese. It'll probably be drizzled with chocolate, and it'll be like a chocolate chip cookie with pretzels and popcorn and potato chips all mixed together on top of it. So, that's good for people who are stoners and stuff like that. And once marijuana should be legalized either across the country or via states, Maryland should legalize it. I mean, we want it legalized. We've legalized medicinal marijuana, so we should legalize regular marijuana. Once they do that, maybe it'll become more of a bigger holiday. But right now, 420 is 420. It's not that big a deal, except for in Colorado, really, because that's where it started. But but Insomnia Cookies is getting in on the deals. Like, we know you're going to be celebrating by smoking up. So when you get the munchies, why don't you buy one of our cookie nachos? So that's a pretty neat idea. Speaking of Maryland, Maryland lacrosse, University of Maryland lacrosse is the Big Ten championships. They were the number one seed in the country, and they won their championship game today. I guess there's a tournament coming up here soon, and hopefully try to win that and be world champion, even though it's just for this country. So I don't know. So yeah. Let me see if I can move this down a little bit. So we got up there. Oh yeah. So Will Wheaton has a new book out. It's a reprinting of his first book he ever wrote, which is a bunch of blog collections, a collection of his blogs that he's done over the years, but each telling a story of his, about his life, his horrific childhood, his working, in Star Trek, and, meeting his wife, and, dealing with fans and starting his own company, and, and doing the stuff that he does, his love for gaming and stuff like that. So it's just a bunch of different things. So he decided he wanted to annotate it and instead of just doing a typical reprint of it and have it back out there, he decided to update the stuff that happened and that's been happening to him since, as part of this blog thing, as part of annotations, and going into more detail about it. And one of the stories that came out of that, which has been around for a while, but he really hasn't been focusing on it too much because he doesn't want to, for obvious reasons. He was emotionally and mentally abused by his parents, both his mom and his dad. And it kind of messed him up a little bit. And he was talking about how in Stand By Me, he was Gordy, the character that he played, and the haunted look in his eyes in the movie really isn't that much acting. What he was going through at his time was he was a lot like Gordy, who he had a brother that overshadowed him, and he was blamed for everything. He didn't do anything and stuff like that. So, and I've said a lot of shit about Jerry O'Connell. I'm not the biggest Jerry O'Connell fan. I honestly don't know where that came from. I think one of the things is because when I was growing up in the 90s, he seemed to always be getting the women that I was interested in, like the Sarah Michelle Gellar's and the Nev Campbells and stuff like that. So I think he's married to that Russian actress, I forget, who played Jean Grey in the original X-Men movies and was the first Bond girl in the modern era with Pierce Brosnan. Famke Johnson, that's what it's Jansen. Yeah, so he's still married to. Anyway, so I guess Jerry O'Connell now has a talk show or something like that, and he decided to bring Will on as part of his book tour and stuff like that. And even though, as I said, I've been giving a lot of shit to Jerry O'Connell, he did not need to do this. And Will Wheaton came out of his way and said, "You don't have to do this. There was nothing. You did nothing wrong." He apologized to Will Wheaton on this show that he does. When he was interviewing him for his book about, not doing more to help him with the abuse allegations that he was going through. And Will's like, "You were 10 years old. I mean, there's not much else you could do, man. I mean, don't worry about it. Don't stress yourself out about it." But Jerry, I guess, for a while, just either did feel real guilt about it, or it's just an act to sort of, make the show interesting, but I don't think that's the case. I mean, he and Will Wheaton, they had, him and Will Wheaton and River Phoenix and Corey Feldman, Corey Feldman. They bonded that year when they made Stand By Me, and they've been still friends. I think they still see each other, a lot. And they, not River, obviously, and they were devastated when River died, obviously, like everybody else was. And but yeah, so they still got them. They did like the Entertainment Weekly sort of, they do these 25-year anniversary sort of things, and where are they now sort of things, so they like that. But Jerry O'Connell apologized for not doing more to help with helping Will through his abuse allegations. So again, much like with Will, what Will said is, you don't have to, worry yourself about that, Jerry. You were 10 fucking years old. You probably had no idea what the hell was going on. And, you missed the signs because you weren't really looking for anything. And Will wasn't coming right out and saying what was happening to him. So it wasn't like you knew and just ignored it. And, even if you did know what was going on, you were 10 fucking years old. What are you going to do, huh? I don't know. But no, to be fair, it was kind of him to say that. That's exactly how Will took it also. He wasn't angry or upset with him. He's like, "Dude, you really don't need to apologize." So I don't hate him as much now, but still I have a unhealthy hatred of him. I don't know why I don't like him. What go figure. Glitter egg butts. Here we are on Easter, and there was something that popped across my feed this week, and that's why I named the episode Glitter Egg Butts. It's people's bare butts, but they have like glitter pictures on their cheeks. Like there's like bunnies and eggs and chicks and stuff like that, but it's all done in paint glitter sort of stuff, and it's on their asses. So I don't know. It's yeah, so I don't know. But just yeah, it's a very see if I can find a picture of these glitter egg butts here. It's a very not not great thing here. Ooh. Before I check that out, I just saw this come across my wire. A class of kindergartners accidentally drank tequila during snack time at a Michigan school. That's outstanding. So, hey, there you go. I'm going to put that on my list here. Kindergartners drink tequila. Check. But yeah, so that's the story that just came across my wire. All right, let's see if I can. Oops, I don't need to look at this. I need to look at this. Let's see if it comes up here pretty quickly. It should be here very, very soon. Oh, yeah, there they are. So there's your glitter butts there. So that's what glitter butts are. So, yeah, happy Easter. Here's some paint on your ass. So there you go. So, yeah. So good on that. So that's what that is. So, yeah, kindergartners drink tequila during break time in Michigan school. Nice. Okay. Eggo's got a couple of stories here. I got one at the top, one at the bottom, so I'll do them both right now. They have a new grab-and-go waffle, which is already waffled, I guess. I mean, it's already been toasted or whatever. It's in a plastic bag, so you just grab it, you open it up, and you eat it. Might even have a maple flavoring to it so that it tastes like it has syrup on it. But you can just grab it, open it, eat it right away. You don't need to put it in the toaster, microwave, whatever. It's already done and ready for you. So they got that coming out. They also have, last week they were announcing that they're bringing back the Fruit Loops flavored Eggo waffles. Well, they're also creating 2 new flavors, tiramisu flavor and a strawberry cheesecake flavor of waffle, which is, I guess, a good sign because my grocery store has been without a lot of the Eggo waffles for a while, and the different types of soda. I mean, I guess they're still being made, but they're just either not ordering them or they're not getting them due to the shipments and stuff like that. The supply chain being an issue. So the fact that they're still doing this means, I mean, they're still in business and they're still making stuff, but I wish they would release more different stuff. I'd like to have the vanilla orange Coke come back, but I haven't seen that since before the pandemic started. So, and then there's a Dr. Pepper thing. Is it on this page or the next page? It's the next page. It's a Dr. Pepper that I want to try, which I supposedly came out before. It's called Vanilla Float Dr. Pepper. So obviously it tastes like a vanilla ice cream float Dr. Pepper sort of thing. They say the person who wrote the article said it's back on store shelves. It's like, I don't even remember being on store shelves before. So, I mean, the stuff is being made. It's just either the stores aren't buying it or they're not being able to get it to them. I mean, they're stocked up on just the regular straight up Coke stuff, Coke, Diet Coke, Cherry Coke, Vanilla Coke. They're always, Coke Zero, they're fully stocked, but there's no flavored ones. The Pepsi's doing a little bit different. They do a wild cherry. They have their passion flavor one. And the Mountain Dews, there's so many different Mountain Dews, but right now they only have the Code Red, the raspberry lemonade one, and the watermelon one out. Those are the only ones, and then the regular one, obviously. So, but there's so many other ones you could be doing right now, but they're just not doing them. So I guess, Eggo's doing it. They just need to get them out, I guess, and more people need to order them, I guess. I don't know. Olivia Tribbley, Thrilby, I guess is her name. I forgot the H. Has joined the continually growing cast of Oppenheimer. It's just going to be insane once the movie's made. Are they going to be able to give all these actors, big actors, or famous-ish sort of actors, big enough roles that they're going to feel like they did their job? And we're looking at a 3-hour plus movie about the guy who created the atom bomb. I don't know. I mean, is there enough there to make it interesting? I don't know. But there we are. And I don't think it's going to be out till next year anyway. So I don't even think they've even started filming it. They keep adding cast members. They probably haven't started filming it yet. It's probably start filming this year. And then they'll get to it eventually. But yeah, they do have a lot of people cast in there as well. Speaking of casting, Issa Rae, Michael Cera, and Will Ferrell. There's one other person also. This is the next big one. I can't find the other one. So Issa Rae, Michael Cera, and right now Will Ferrell. There's one other one in there. I can't find her right now. Have joined the cast of the Barbie movie. That's getting its own pretty good cast coming together here. I'm sure I'll come across it again. But yeah, there's also an actress who was in. Oh yeah, there we go. Emma Mockley. Emma Mockley is the other one also. So she's joined the cast of along with Will Ferrell, Michael Cera, and Issa Rae have joined the cast of Barbie with Margot Robbie as Barbie, and I forget there's a British actor playing Ken, I think, also. So yeah, so there's that's an interesting movie that's building up an interesting cast as well. Last week I said Sharon Stone was, I guess I jumped the gun a little bit. I thought she was cast as the villain in the Blue Beetle movie. I was wrong on that end. She was just in the running for it, but they ended up going with Susan Sarandon to play the villain. So Susan Sarandon has officially signed on to play the villain of Blue Beetle and not Sharon Stone. Her political views are sort of turned me off on her. So, and we'll see. I mean, if she's going to play the villain, go for it. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea what this one says. Rosabelle Laurenti sells card in written furs. I don't know what that is. We'll look at that later. Let's see what else is good casting. Pamela Anderson is on Broadway right now. She's actually playing Roxy Hart for a 6-week run on Broadway in the musical Chicago. She got a standing ovation and flowers on her first night. So she's getting her life, I guess, back together a little bit. Jessica Alba, who has been seen for a while, is going to be in a new Netflix series coming out very soon. Don't know much more about it other than the fact that she was cast in it. Netflix is reviving an animated film from Blue Sky Productions, which I think did the Ice Age movies. But they got shut down, and they didn't know what was going to happen. So Netflix picked this up, and they're going to finish it up and release it based on a graphic novel called Nimona. They picked that up. My daughter read the graphic novel, really liked it, so she was excited. She told me that news, and she was excited about it. So that's pretty cool. Speaking of that, Blue Sky Animation, they, I guess, got shut down. They were the ones who did Ice Age and a few other things as well. They got shut down. And as a final farewell, they made after 20 years, they made which was when the first Ice Age movie came out. And one of the characters in Ice Age was the cute little giant tooth rat named Scrat, who always was the one that caused all the issues with trying to bury his acorn and was unable to get his acorn and stuff like that. And stuff always happened where he wasn't able to get his acorn, but it was causing the issues. Anyway, they decided to, as a final farewell to their company and to Scrat, they made a short film where he actually gets and eats his acorn. So that's a kind of a neat little thing to look at as well. KJ Apa and Isabel Mui have been cast as the Wonder Twins on the HBO Max series I talked about a couple weeks ago. So that's moving along pretty good. The Batman movie is coming to Blu-ray on May 24th. It will be out on HBO Max on Monday, the 18th, tomorrow, actually, now that it's Sunday officially. So 24 hours from now, it'll be up and running. So there you go. See anything else? Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart to star in a movie for Netflix called The Man from Toronto. It's an action comedy Western sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. Sandra Bullock believes that Daniel Radcliffe should be the MCU's Wolverine. She believes he has the chops to do it and should be able to do it since he's been rumored to do it for a while. Ain't going to happen, Sandy, but, nice of you to throw your 2 cents in there. Frank Langella, who is an actor who's been around for a long time, got on the wrong side of a certain director and was fired from the Fall of the House of Usher TV series that's being filmed right now by Mike Flanagan for Netflix based on the Poe stuff. So they're going to recast the role. No other information has been revealed about it, so we don't know the reason for it or whatever's about that. I don't know what that says. Martin Scorsese's Killers of the Flower Moon, which was supposed to be lined up to be the movie to beat at the Oscars this year, will not actually be released this year. So I guess it hasn't been officially announced it's moving to 2023, but it looks like the way things are going right now, it will not be released till 2023, which then puts it in the running for the 2023 Oscars, which won't run till 2024. So I don't know. That's just what it says. Could that just be for wide and that they're going to do like 2 theaters at the end of December to get in the theaters? We'll see. I guess they're working on it to try to make sure it gets in there, but right now they believe it's not going to be able to make its way out until 2023, which then leads me to believe that they're going to want it to set it up for Oscars, and there's only been one Oscar winner that was released in the first quarter of a year, and that was the Silence of the Lambs stuff. And it's really hard to have people remember what came out in March earlier the year when you get to voting for your Oscars. So I don't know if they decide to move it to 2023. Are they going to finish it early 2023 and just hold it until the fall of 2023? So, or will they be able to sneak it in 2022? We don't know. We won't know for sure. But right now, all signs appear to be that Scorsese's film with De Niro, DiCaprio, and so on and so forth will not make it until next year. It is Easter officially, and it's too late to do it now. But if something you might be thinking about for next year, or if you just want to do it just for the hell of it, and get it here within a day or so, hopefully, if you're lucky. Amazon is selling zombie chocolate bunnies and victim chocolate bunnies. For people who love their horror, you can get these specially made chocolate bunnies for the horror fan in your life. So it's an interesting way of doing things, but why not? There you go. I know this was coming either. Maybe I did. Maybe I announced it a while back. But the Kids in the Hall, the Canadian comedy group, are going to have a new show on Netflix starting May 13th. And not Netflix, on Prime Video. I'm sorry. It's not Netflix, Prime Video. Be released May 13th on Prime Video. And the trailer was released this week. So it's just basically... it's going to be like their old school Kids in the Hall show. It's going to be a bunch of, comedic shorts, and they're going to create characters. So they're bringing back some of their old characters from the old show on how they've aged now. So the entire cast is back, and should be interesting to see how that rolls out. So that'll be May 13th. You'll be able to see more about that soon. Paul Verhoeven, who is the Danish director of Basic Instinct and Showgirls, Total Recall, and that was it, the Black Book, and then that one about the nun who has sexual thoughts that just came out last year. Anyway, he is slamming Marvel and the more recent James Bond films for getting rid of sex in movie theaters, in the movies. That his viewpoint on sex, obviously, from a lot of his films, is there's always at least one graphic sex scene in most of his movies. Total Recall, there wasn't, because they were trying to do a Hollywood sort of blockbuster. RoboCop, there wasn't, but there was the extreme violence in RoboCop. And then in Total Recall, there was the scene where Sharon Stone leans back and is undoing her blouse, knowing that full well that you can see her, tits a little bit, but she didn't get naked that time. But then he cast her in Basic Instinct, and she got naked a lot in that one. There was a lot of sexual activity in that one. And then, of course, Showgirls was the pinnacle of all that. And then he went back to the Deutschland, Denmark, stuff like that. And made a bunch of Deutschland is Germany, dumbass. Made a bunch of films like Black Book, which is about a Nazi, a woman who was infiltrated the Nazis and spied on them, but there's some sex in that. And graphic cunnilingus and stuff like that. And then he made this film about a nun who has sexual thoughts about Jesus and another nun in her group, and there's a hardcore lesbian sex scene in that. So he's always into these sort of, and I guess being foreign, it's not a big deal to them. And he's slamming the popular movies now that they've sort of gotten away from the sexualization, particularly James Bond. Is like there wasn't like any massively sex scenes in a James Bond film. And honestly, there was sex in it because that's part of his characters, but it's never really been, even because it came out in the 60s and 70s and 80s. In the 60s and 70s when it first came out, there was a little bit more sexualization in it, but it wasn't like sex scenes. It was, rolling around in bed and we figured out what happened. And then it's like the afterglow, what happened. So you're not actually going to see the action of it. And Marvel there's no reason to do sex scenes in Marvel comics because, there are comics that have sex in it, sure, but it's not really any of these superhero comics, which are what's popular now. You can intimate stuff like, look, in the comics, Spider-Man and Mary Jane are sexually active, but it's always done, very, subdued and no hardcore stuff because you don't want to make it into pornography. And him and Black Cat also, when they were together, that was a highly sexualized thing. And there's been sex and stuff before, and Cyclops and Jean Grey having sex on the Butte during the Dark Phoenix saga. There was that, and there have been him and having an affair with the White Queen who was dressed in sexual manner. So there's lots of sexual stuff, and like shows like The Boys and stuff like that, which can push the envelope a little bit. They can do that kind of stuff, but in regular comics books, it's not worth it. There's really no reason to do it. There is no reason to have Tom Holland and Zendaya have a hardcore sex scene, despite the fact that Zendaya is in Euphoria, which is huge hardcore sex scenes. There's no reason to have it in a Spider-Man movie, and even though they're in a relationship together, it doesn't make any sense to do it. Same thing with not having Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. I think they might have had some before and after sort of stuff, and Toby and MJ also. You obviously knew they were probably doing it, but there was never anything intimated about it. And there's no reason to have it that way, so you don't need to do that. Same with X-Men. There was nothing really overtly sexual about stuff. There was some innuendo, so like that. There's no reason to do it. So I think Paul Verhoeven's off on this a little bit, and if you really want to, Paul, create your own James Bond or create your own superhero, and do all the sex scenes you want to do, man. You do you. I have no problem with sex scenes, but James Bond, you don't need to have hardcore sex scenes. You need to have some sort of romantic sex sort of issue because that's James Bond's character. But in the Marvel comics, you really don't need to have anything sexual in that as well. Again, you can intimate stuff that it's happening and it's been done, or you can cut away and come back, whatever you want to do, sure. But there's no reason to keep it up. Dan Didio, who used to run DC Comics, is now running Frank Miller's publishing company, which is Frank Miller is really not Frank Miller anymore. A lot of his stuff has been absolute garbage over the last at least 10, 15, 20, since the beginning of the new century, probably. I mean, he's had multiple big hits in the early 80s, and he had some stuff in the 90s with Sin City and stuff like that. But a lot of his stuff is very misogynistic, and his artwork has definitely gone downhill very badly, and it's just he's not as good as he used to be, and he's starting to destroy his aura. Not quite yet, because he still did The Dark Knight Returns in year one and all that stuff, but it's just not as good as it used to be, and he needs to kind of stop. But go for it, man. I have no idea. Rosabelle, I have no idea who that is. Police apprehend penguins who keep sneaking into a sushi restaurant. I mean, why not? I mean, there's fresh fish there all the time, so it'd be great for them. But I don't think they really arrested them. They probably just removed them from the premises. But yeah. 112 million year old dinosaur footprints were damaged by what is it? I can't read my handwriting here. By a job who was building, the construction job. They destroyed 112 million year old dinosaur footprints. So you're going to have sort of that argument over, like there's a scene in Jurassic Park where, they found this fossil and a helicopter comes in and starts blowing the sand over it again and causing issues for it to get lost. And I guess, historically, you need to, keep them as accurate as you can. And to have them get destroyed like that when you have a piece of history like that is absolutely disgusting. Let's see. Anthony Mackie has bought land in his hometown of New Orleans to start a new studio, I guess to help increase economy down there. So that's a pretty cool thing about that. Baby zebra was born with dots instead of stripes. Now we've seen baby zebras born where the stripes were, I think, black and the body was white, or vice versa, whatever's the opposite of what the zebra is. There was some born other ways, but this is the first one born with dots. So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Something not so interesting is mac and cheese gummies. I guess if you like Kraft mac and cheese and you like the flavor of it, you will enjoy these gummies, but no, thank you. Ew. I don't like the sound of that. The Color Purple, which was a movie directed by Steven Spielberg about slavery, starred Whoopi Goldberg. I forget who else in that. She won. No, she didn't win an Oscar for that, but she was nominated. It got like 12 nominations. It didn't win anything, and it should have won probably more than it did. But, Oscar's so white, so there's that issue right there. But they turned it into a musical. Every other movie is being turned into a musical now, so why not turn The Color Purple into a musical? So they did, and was a huge hit on Broadway. I think it came through the Hippodrome here before COVID a couple of years ago. I didn't go see it because it doesn't really interest you all that much, but it is a musical based on the Steven Spielberg movie. And it's out there. So what you do now is the other trend that's going on. So you have a movie, you make a musical about it, and then you make a movie musical about it. Like a good example, like The Producers. When Mel Brooks released The Producers in 69, 68, with Gene Wilder and Zero Mostel. Sorry, something just popped up here. It was released in movie theaters. And then Mel Brooks decided he wanted to turn it into a musical. And he did. And it still holds the record for the most Tony Awards, even beating Hamilton, which missed it by one award. And it became a huge hit with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane as the characters. And then they decided, because of the popularity of the musical, which is different than the actual original film, that they would release a film version of it that starred Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick. So it's full circle where you release a film without music, you release it on the stage on Broadway as a theatrical thing. It's a huge hit, and then you turn it into a movie musical, which is a movie version of the musical on Broadway, which is based on the movie. That's it's like thing. Hairspray did it. I mean, Hairspray had music in it, but it wasn't a musical. It was a dance movie. It was about racism and stuff like that. And then John Waters turned it into a musical, and then the musical became popular. And so then they turned that musical into a movie musical. So you have that. So they've done that for a ton of these, films that have been shifted from movie theaters, movies to musicals to movie musicals now. And Color Purple is doing the same thing. So now they're doing a movie musical of the musical Color Purple, and Kiara has been cast in that. So good on that for her. Sour Patch Watermelon Macaroons, for fans who like the Sour Patch flavored watermelon stuff. You can get it in macaroon flavors now. Kentucky man sues his employer for throwing him a birthday party, and he won $450,000 on his lawsuit. He didn't want a birthday party thrown for him, and his boss thought it'd be cool to do it, even though he didn't want it, and told him distinctly, I don't want it, but he threw a party for him anyway. The guy got pissed and sued him and won. So that's definitely a unique court case there. We're about a month into, I guess, the new season of Fortnite, and it's okay. It's not my favorite. It's just okay, but with the introduction of a no build, a lot of people were thinking that would piss off the people who do it for the building, and it became popular. But the build came back a couple weeks later, but now they have two separate games. So if you'd rather play it without building and one with building, you can do that now. And in turn, but it's the same thing. You can do your quests on either one. You can go flip back and forth between both of them. You can do whatever you want. So that's the thing now. But when it first announced that they weren't going to do building, people were screaming, it's a garbage game. It's dying. Nobody's playing Fortnite anymore. Nobody's talking about it anymore. So people are saying, Fortnite's dying. Why are we even dealing with this? But Fortnite's like, not so fast. They do a monthly check on the amount of people who are playing, the player count on it. And for like the third or fourth straight month in a row, they're still number one in video games, even more than GTA and Call of Duty and stuff like that. They are way in front of them by millions of people. So it's not dying at all. It's actually thriving right now. So quit throwing your doomsayer thing. Oh, it's dying. It's not dying. You're just an idiot. And you're just wrong, and you're just pissed because you don't like the game anymore. Well, good for you, but apparently a million other people like it, so you can just fuck off. Speaking of fucking off, Tom Brady, there was a rumor that came out a while back that he retired because he wanted to have he wanted to retire, but then he was going to rejoin the NFL by becoming the quarterback to the Miami Dolphins. And Sean Payton, who retired from the New Orleans Saints, was going to take over as the coach for the Miami Dolphins. So it was going to be Sean Payton coaching Tom Brady and the Miami Dolphins. And when the Brian Flores lawsuit came up about him suing the Miami Dolphins for not hiring more people of color as coaches and stuff like that, or even thinking about them, that ruined Tom's and Sean's plans. And Tom re-signed with Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he was never going to retire. He just wanted to play in Miami because the guy who owns Miami has like really good friends with Brady, and they were getting close to doing this back when Brady signed one of his secondary contracts, and it just never came to fruition. And this one came a lot closer to fruition, but in the end, it didn't turn out because of this lawsuit. So now, because of this story coming to light, even though we don't know the veracity of it, people want to investigate Tom Brady for tampering because he said he was going to do this and that was, illegally do this and that, so on and so forth. So, and cause, try to convince people to go to Miami instead of doing this stuff, stuff like that, to play with him and Sean Payton. I'm all for keeping investigating Tom Brady because I don't like the guy. But this just seems a little odd. Tom Brady has all the power in the freaking world. If he didn't want to play in Miami, he could have somehow probably escaped his contract in Tampa Bay and gone to Miami and played there if he really, really wanted to. As for Sean Payton, same thing also. He could. They people, don't follow their contracts for a long time and want to get dealt, and they put a big stink about it in the press, and then eventually it forces the team to release them and them to do that. And there'll be some penalties, stuff like that accrued, but everything will come out up roses. So if he was going to do something like that, Tom Brady has all the power in the world. Same with Sean Payton has all the power in the world that they could have made it happen without all the subterfuge and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how big of a deal or how truthful this story is, but it just seems rather odd. And just as I said, I brought it up because any investigation of Tom Brady is a good thing because I don't like the guy. That's just me though. Philadelphia has always had a interesting love affair with their mascots. Philly Fanatic and Gritty, their hockey one. Now, Philadelphia is one of the few cities that's going to have a USFL team, and the USFL starts in a couple weeks. Actually, they start tomorrow or today. Actually, I think they have some games today. But they have, they have a mascot like they always do. And so they decide, hey, let's open up the names of the mascot to the people of Philadelphia, because your mascot, you should have a say in what the name of the mascot is. And you have to realize that, you never do that for Philadelphia people, because you'll get, mascotti face or stuff like that. In this case, they came up with Blob, and Blob got the most votes. So the name of the USFL mascot is Blob. I think it starts today. I think the USFL starts today, I think, with a couple of games. Maybe we can watch those during Easter at my in-laws' house. It's a final, as expected. Oh, no, it was today. USFL's first game had just about everything, including a game-winning touchdown in the final minute. The score, courtesy of Stallions quarterback Jamar Smith, gave the Birmingham Stallions a 28-24 come-from-behind win over the New Jersey Generals. So that was the first game, so I guess they're doing a bunch tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see what their schedule is here. They have their schedule here. Yeah, here we go. Today, Houston Gamblers, Michigan Panthers, Philadelphia Stars, and Blob versus the New Orleans Breakers, and the Tampa Bay Bandits versus the Pittsburgh Maulers. So, so they've got the USFL started. I did not know that. That got barely any news in my feed, so I didn't know that happened. So, hey, good for you, USFL. I think I do have a USFL story here later on. But, yeah, the Blob is the name of their mascot. So you can see the Blob later today if you want to, the 4 o'clock game, I think. So maybe we'll watch USFL. I'll see if Mike wants to do that. That'd be interesting. So we had 2 major deaths this week, and that was really all that showed up on my feed this week. The big one was Gilbert Gottfried, comedian, much like a Bob Saget, who you would know he was the voice of Iago in Aladdin, and he was always he was the voice of the Affleck duck for the biggest time. He was in Beverly Hills Cop 2, and he was in a bunch of other movies, but it was like it was that whiny, high-pitched sort of, and he shouted everything and screamed everything. He passed away at the age of 67, so 2022 continues to be the new 2016. And Liz Sheridan, who was an actress who played Jerry Seinfeld's mother on Seinfeld, and also, I remember her now, she played the neighbors of the people who had Alf as their pet, and they were always trying to hide it from her, and she was trying to prove that there was something weird going on. I remember her being the neighbor for Alf. Liz Sheridan passed away the other day. Now, it was kind of interesting. Someone pointed out that the actress who played George Costanza's mother in Seinfeld, Estelle Getty, died. Not Estelle Getty, Estelle something or other. She passed away a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. And then the mother of Jerry, the actress who plays the mother of Jerry, died, 2 weeks after the actress who played the mother of George. So kind of a weird, interesting sort of take on things. So those are the 2 big deaths this week. I hate Seth MacFarlane, and his Family Guy I think is unfunny. And he's done a couple movies, one of which was hugely successful, was Ted, about the talking teddy bear that he's the cursing teddy bear that lives with Mark Wahlberg. And he's got Mark Wahlberg's got his Boston accent. It takes place in Boston, and we talk like this. And Ted, I guess, doesn't really talk like he talks like Seth MacFarlane. But it became hugely popular. I mean, the intensely hot Mila Kunis was in it, but that's besides the point. But they've come up with a Ted TV show now that's going to be on Paramount probably, but I don't know. But they've cast Georgia Wiggum, Max Burkholder, and Scott Grimes. I think I know some of those actors, but they are been cast in the Ted TV show. So there's going to be a Ted TV show coming sooner than later, I guess. Justin Barth, who played Riley Poole in the National Treasure movies with Nicolas Cage, has returned to the National Treasure story as he has been cast in the National Treasure TV show that's filming there, playing the same role of Riley Poole, which will connect the movies to the TV show. So good on that, I guess. Whatever. Pentagon confirms the first ever interstellar visitor to Earth. It was basically a comet that exploded 6 years ago, something like that. And it was from outside of our Milky Way. I don't know how they figured it out, but I guess they did. They got some samples of it. They tested them and discovered that it wasn't of our universe, but of a different one. So we've now can say we've had interstellar visitors visiting us. There's another, that big other comet that's soaring its way through our solar system right now, heading towards Earth right now. That's a weird sort of comet meteor thing, is also interstellar. So we'll see more about that down the line. Speaking of Fortnite, a Fortnite player recreated South Park in the creative aspect of Fortnite, and it was outstanding. So good on them for taking out the time and doing that stuff. So good on that. The largest ever comet seen by the Hubble was photographed this week. It's 80 miles wide. Not going to be a threat to the Earth, but the fact is that they have seen the biggest comet of all time here. Just showed up right now. Let's see. A $1 million painting was destroyed after a board security guard drew eyes on the faces and wasn't supposed to, the blank faces. So it was $1 million painting, and now it's bupkis because this board security guard decided to draw eyes on the painting. So it was his first week of the job, I think, and so it's like, you really don't need to do that. Multiple people were shot in Brooklyn this week in a shooting, in a subway shooting. So there's still a lot of gun violence, and we need more gun control laws and stuff like that. But we're not going to get it because the NRA is a bunch of bullshit and the Republicans are a bunch of a-holes. That's besides the point. Jared Leto's Morbius movie took one of the biggest drops between its big opening weekend. It dropped 72% in its take. And a lot of people think it was because of the weird stories about Jared Leto's method acting. And Mads Mikkelsen, who is doing the rounds for the Fantastic Beasts 3 movie, and Will Poulter, who's currently filming the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, spoke out and said that they believe that method acting is stupid. They have their, you can have your opinions, but not everybody likes method actors, and I think method actors could give a rat's ass what other people think. But it's still interesting to see that, I guess. A bunch of trailers debuted this week. The Tales of the Walking Dead trailer came out this week. That shows the anthology series, shows the various stories about what's going to be happening with that. The crowd-funded Mystery Science Theater 3000 with Felicia Day and Patton Oswalt launched their first trailer. Their new season, I think, is May 13th. I think is when it is. Let's see, anything else? A live-action Casper the Friendly Ghost series is coming to the Peacock Network. So we'll be seeing more about that. Okay, where that is. Paws of Fury trailer, which was a animated film that was supposed to come out during the pandemic, but they pushed it back because of the pandemic. Is basically a retelling of Blazing Saddles, but in animated format, and about a samurai instead of a samurai cat or something, like dog or something like that, instead of a black sheriff. So where is that there? Where is it? Maybe I already marked it. I guess so. Trailers for the AMC interview with the vampire show, and We Own This City, the one about the Baltimore crooked, corrupt crime unit, came out this week as well. Sony gives Epic $1 billion. So Sony is give the Epic, which created Fortnite and runs that. It gave them $1 billion to create new content and upgrade stuff and so on and so forth, I guess. So good on that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is reteaming with Rian Johnson for his mystery series called Poker Face, which also stars Natasha Lyonne. So that one's going to be getting here real soon. Apple TV or Apple Plus, whatever you want to call it, is developing a sequel to Tom Hanks's World War II movie, Greyhound, I guess, or something like that. It was like the first movie that came out for Apple TV or whatever. So it did pretty well, I guess, for them. So they're going to be making a sequel to it. Microchip implants you can put in your hands now will help you pay for stuff just with your hands. So they'll put some microchip in here, and if you buy groceries, just go boop with your hands, and it'll take everything from your accounts and stuff like that. So that's the new futuristic thing here coming up. Christopher Lloyd and Rachel Lee Cook are going to be starring in a Spirit Halloween movie based on the Spirit Halloween costume shops that pop up during the Halloween season. I don't know anything other than the fact that it's about a Spirit Halloween shop, and it has Christopher Lloyd and Rachel Lee Cook in it, which is really interesting casting. So we'll see what happens with that. Speaking of the USFL, the USFL will not be using chains to measure first downs. Obviously, they started today, so they've already used this. Instead, there will be a microchip in the ball, which will be, I guess the first down marker will have a sensor on it, and it'll let the people know if it is actually there or not. I don't know. I guess that's going to be worked out. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but it is. Talia Grace, a trans actress, has been cast in the Willow TV series. There's another Willow story here somewhere. Where is that? Was that what that other one was? I think that's what it was. Yeah. The Rosa. Yep, that's what it is. The Rosabelle Laurenti has been cast in the new Willow series as well. So I don't know who she is, but I was able to read that. Yay. Once I figured out what it said. Let's see what else is there. Georgia warns residents of an invasive lizard species that can eat about anything is entering their state. So keep an eye on that down in Georgia. Some Maryland news. The Maryland State Fair, which usually lasts about 10 days from like August 25th, August 26th through Labor Day, is going to add another weekend to its fair schedule. So it'll still end on Labor Day, but then, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be, it will be closed. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday of that week, the State Fair will reopen for people to come back and make some more money. I guess that's okay if you missed out on the 10 days. Now you have 3 more for 13 days. I guess that's fine. I mean, they need to make money back, but State Fair is okay. It's so crowded. It's hard parking, and it's just wait times, and the food's expensive, and it's just hot and muggy, and it's just bleh, That's just me. That's just, state fairs really aren't a big deal anymore as they used to be in the old days, And Governor Hogan has signed a bill appropriating $1.2 billion to the Baltimore Stadium Authority. It's to help upgrade both Camden Yards, the Oriole Stadium, and Ravens Stadium, M&T Bank Stadium downtown, give them upgrades, stuff like that. But it's also going to be used to help develop the area around the stadiums to make it a destination spot for when the Ravens and the Orioles are not playing down there. People still want to come down there and do that. This is going to be like concert venues and new restaurants and just more interesting things, and just sort of do sort of a renaissance downtown by starting with the stadium groups, since they're right next to each other. The casino's right nearby there too, so you figure you get all that together. Hammerjack's supposed to go in over there too. And there's I don't know, this new golf thing. I guess there's some sort of indoor golf thing that seems to be a big deal. I don't know much about it. It's like Play Golf or something like that. Let me see if I can find something about it. It's some sort of golf galaxy. I don't know. Free golf or something like that. I'm just going to check here real quick. Free golf. Golf buildings. No. Anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a golf thing opening down there too. So that they're going to take that money and help, revitalize downtown. Peter Jackson, director of the Lord of the Rings trilogy and the Hobbit trilogy, is now officially a billionaire. So he has $1 billion to him because of the stuff he did with Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and other stuff as well. He is now a billionaire. There was a Jaws prequel that was in the producing phase back in the early 80s, which would have given a little bit more in-depth look at the Quint character and his time on the USS Indianapolis, which he tells that monologue in the movie Jaws about being on the USS Indianapolis, which delivered the atom bombs that destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And then when their ship was coming back, it got hit by Japanese subs and sank in shark-infested waters. And I think he said something like, 1,000 people went in, only 300 survived, and they were all eaten by sharks. And people lived, they saw their friends and colleagues, stuff like that, getting eaten by sharks. And it would have made, I guess, for a really dark, depressing, but it is a true historical event. So they thought it would have made a interesting movie, and you still might be able to do it, but that was something that was being discussed a while back. Astronomers have discovered an object which is 570 billion times brighter than the sun, which is hard to fathom. It's like the look on my face right here. It'd be like, this is the sun, and this is what that 570 million, billion times brighter than the sun is. So it'd be crazy. A worm-shaped cloud appeared over the Alaskan mountains, and nobody still knows what it was. Conspiracy theories go from Russian stuff to aliens to so on and so forth. So no one really knows what it was, but it made, kind of big news everywhere. Neptune has had unexpected atmospheric temperature changes, which no one knows exactly why that's happening, what's going on with it. So they're trying to figure that out, and we'll find out more about that. And the last story here on this Easter Sunday, a song that came out in 2004 has been on the UK Top 100 singles, a list that comes out weekly, for 304 weeks. And this 309 weeks, 309 weeks. And the song is Mr. Brightside by the Killers. So a 309 week stay on the top 100 chart is unheard of. It's fairly interesting. So I figured I'd save that one for last. And that's it. So that's it for this. I want you all to enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday. Easter Bunny is going to be here very shortly. I think I heard her upstairs actually thump down some stuff. So I'm going to have to get up there. I'm going to have to get my wife's one done and give that to Easter Bunny to hide. So we'll see. We have very limited amounts of spaces to put these baskets. So let's figure something out. So we'll figure it out. Oh, well. But thanks for watching. Happy Easter. Join me next week. My family will be gone. We'll do some 420 talk probably, and we'll see what's going on with stuff and things. All right. Take care. And we will see you on the flip side. I'm going to wait and see them count this down. See if I can click on this again. We got 10 seconds before it's an hour and 20 minutes. So let's see if I can nail this. So let's see. Let's hit this now. And then there we go.